to work finally, which is cool.
Yay, welcome.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I was asking to admit people. Did we put different permissions on this call?
To be honest, it's not supposed to happen. It's an open call for everyone, but yeah, it seems that we need to accept. I don't know if this is a different invite. Let's see if other people is free to join.
Yeah, my phone originally had me connecting under my work Google account, and it was like asked to join. And then I switched to this Google account and I automatically joined, but I had to bring Karen and Juan both in. Just weird.
Interesting.
I always have to set ask to join if I recall correctly.
You always do?
I believe so.
Interesting.
Let me change the permissions. Yeah. Okay. There is a way to change that behavior, and I just did it. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, done. I think it's the first time that I'm with Karen in the same session, so just wanted to say hello, Karen, and thanks for joining. And yeah, a pleasure.
Hello.
Yeah, same. Let's wait because probably Jason will be joining. How is your week starting? All good?
All good, and you?
Can't complain. It's my birthday, so yeah.
Oh, well, happy birthday then.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm going to
Nothing better
start.
than sticking around at the JSON Schema meeting to
Yeah,
have a
definitely.
good time.
Yeah. I'm going to start sharing the agenda for today. Second. Hey, Bala. Hey, Jason.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. We haven't started yet.
Hello.
So just let me log in. I'm almost there. Okay, let me make the font size bigger, and yeah, I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, thanks everyone for joining for this important Open Community Working session. Today we have a great agenda when we will be discussing mostly the topics related to the budget and the plans for the present and future quarters. But before getting started, let's very quickly review our meeting etiquette. We are going to record this meeting to share it with the community and also in our YouTube channel. But if someone in the room is against sharing this publicly, just send me a message and I'll take care of not uploading this one to YouTube. Otherwise, this will be live along the week. During the session, we encourage everyone to challenge any language or behavior that is harmful, not inclusive, or against our code of conduct. And when other people is speaking, we'll try to stay on mute and use the Zoom reactions for ask for a time to speak. Yeah, and let's take a look to what we have in the agenda. We can take a look to the financial report that we published some weeks ago with the data of our expenses and also our financial contribution. There is a discussion when we have the budget discussion open, and hopefully today we will be able to progress with that one. And related with the budget, there are two voting issues in the TST repo. One regarding getting community management services, and second one regarding stipends, discussing stipends for important projects like the stable spec development. We still have time to add more topics to the agenda. So if anyone in the session wants to add something, just leave a comment in the issue or send me a message, and we will make sure that this is included in the agenda. Any comment so far before getting started? Great. Regarding the financial report, I think this is just high-level information that we can use to continue with the budget discussion. But this short report basically is highlighting the progress we made since 2023 with our funds received, and we provided some visibility about the expenses. In the end, what we can get from this data is that we increased a lot the funds received, mostly because of we increased the number of sponsors, and also we get involved in Google Summer of Code and Google Season of Docs. And as of today, we are getting a monthly income that is around $1,300, while our monthly expenses is around $130. Please take a look if you like to see more details, and of course, all the data is available in our Open Collective. So I don't know if someone has a question regarding this data. Yes, those are US dollars.
Well, this 130, by the way, is that a breakdown of the current monthly expense, or is it just like averaging out every?
Is average.
Okay, fine.
Probably that's not totally accurate if we take a look today. If, for example, one of the recurring bronze sponsors is not continue with the monthly contribution, probably this will be 100 less or something. But that's basically is the what we are getting as of now. In fact, we had 2 new sponsors the past month, so probably it will be slightly higher.
So that's interesting number, because that is a little bit different than what my analysis seemed to show. I guess because I took the money that we were getting throughout the whole year, and so maybe it's actually because that was averaged with maybe getting less sponsors in the beginning of the year to more sponsors at the end of the year. Maybe we're actually we actually have more income coming in than I had.
Yeah, I didn't make the full year calculation. It's just the last month, so
Yeah.
probably that's the difference. In fact, probably I don't know what is exactly your number, but probably will be 700 or 800, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So my I mean, we can get into it next, but my recommendation was going to be $1,000 a month that we're spending, but and I expected that to be a little bit more than we had coming in, and so but it looks like
that
might
we
be
were
actually
spending 1,000.
What's that?
So you mean that according to your analysis, we are spending 1,000?
No, that is like my recommended budget for how
Okay,
much
fine.
we
I get
could be
it.
spending in 2025.
Okay, so probably it's better that we go back to the agenda. So this is the data, and we can go back to it at any point of time. But let's take a look to the budget proposal and the data that you have, and if that's okay for everyone. Okay, and here I will hand over to you, Jason.
Yeah. So not counting the Google Summer of Code, we had about 16,000 coming in, and we don't count Google Summer of Code and Docs because we don't actually have the choice in how we spend that. It's just going directly to contributors and stuff like that. So the 16,000 is more like what we're actually spending. It looks like in hosting fees and such, we're spending almost $2,000. It looks like it's mostly Open Collective taking a cut of every transaction, and then other expenses. We spend about $5,000. That will likely be significantly less this year because I don't expect that we're going to have initiatives like badge and asset creation that we spent money on last time. I think that was
Can you
the
explain
majority.
what do you mean by hosting fees a bit more? Is it actually like cloud hosting, or is it, Open Collective hosting JSON Schema?
Yeah, well, it's that cost is almost entirely from Open Collective, but this is also including like the Google account, and Cloudflare hosting and stuff like that. Although
On a bit of a different note, but if Open Collective is taking so much, I mean, are there other options like just GitHub sponsors that would allow us to get more of the money?
It's taking I think 10% or something like that of each transaction. That is quite a lot, but I don't think GitHub sponsors has all the features and capabilities that we are getting from Open Collective. In fact, if we are planning to expand the expenses and start like providing stipends and stuff like that, I think Open Collective is going to give us the flexibility to manage like the paying consultants, stipends and stuff like that in a very easy way. If we go back to GitHub, if we move to GitHub sponsors, it's something that I don't know exactly how works with them. Maybe any of you using GitHub sponsors have a good experience, but I don't know. With low resources that we have, maybe it's better to like not waste much time on it. I don't know. Greg, sorry.
So my understanding with Open Collective is they're actually also they're also holding the money for us. Whereas with GitHub sponsors, we would have to have a bank account somewhere, probably in the US, I assume. And then we would have to manage that bank account ourselves. So Open Collective, I believe, is providing that service for us as well. There's probably some overhead and admin stuff that we would need to address if we decide to go with something like GitHub sponsors.
Yeah, I agree. It would. I mean, it's definitely worth looking at other options, but yeah, just GitHub sponsors is not an alternative to what we're getting with this.
Okay, I think any question regarding how we are expanding our income? I think is most important. I think we are being very careful with expenses. Mostly what we you said is for, as Jason said, is hosting. I think we just paid like 1,000 something like that for the design services because we were planning to expand the buddy system, create like stickers and so on in the previous, before the Postman layoffs and so on. Everything, all of that changed, and as of now, anything else was paid with first the conference sponsorship, because we got 3K of the conference sponsors, and with that we paid the speakers' stipends. That was great. And anything else, for example, the technical writing services was fully paid by Google, and mentors, stipends, and everything was Google as well. So I think we are in a very good spot for thinking about these stipends for implementers and any other option that we can discuss today. And I'm so excited about the proposal. So in my opinion, we can go and explore the different proposals that you put it together, Jason. I don't know what about others.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the first thing we need to do is agree on a budget, how much we have to spend, and then also how we're going to spend it. So I was suggesting a budget of $18,000, but for the year. But it looks like possibly from what we talked about just a minute ago, maybe we can raise that up a bit. In any case, and then we should figure out what we think our expenses are going to be for the year. Last year it was 7,000. Like we said, probably it could be a little bit less. So this is this first proposal is making some assumptions that maybe we can discuss and go a little bit higher. But this proposes $1,000 a month, and I think we should be using that to sponsor various things, including TSC members, important community projects, maintainers, spec authors, stuff like that. I think that's something we can put directly in the budget, is deciding on how much we want to spend on those things, and on what specific things. I actually put together an example. Maybe I can share my screen and show that real quick.
You can blow it all off on a birthday gift for Benja, right? You pick what you want.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So so here's an example with the $1,000 a month guess of what we might have. So up here I have some numbers of how much we can sponsor certain things. So I've got TSC members, community manager, small maintainer sponsorship, and a large maintainer sponsorship, and spec authors, and so down here I've distributed that, and we end up with 1,000. So so this is just like one example of things that we can do. I included like website maintainers in there as well. I'm not quite sure who that would go to, but I think that's like kind of a vital thing that that is important to support. So that's one example of something we can kind of iterate on.
And I think, the way probably to see this, because I think there are 2 points of view, right? There is one which is like, what do we want to award people for, right? Or what do we want to recognize? But I think an interesting twist for this is like, imagine that we agree on this proposal, right? And the whole point is that we can do something like a blog post or an announcement, you know, showing people, hey, this is, you know, what we're spending our money on. And therefore you need, you know, we want more sponsors. If you look at it from that point of view, you know, what would we like that blog post to show, right? What would be something that when a potential donor would look at that and say, oh, cool, you know, I should help fund these things. Which it might or might not align with what actually matters. You know, I mean, it's a game that we need to play, right? We need to show off an interesting spending plan. But I think, yeah, and not that I have any concrete answers, but we're just saying, you know, I think we should consider that point of view a lot.
Yeah, I like that perspective. For me, I think that the story about the stipend for having a way to provide a stipend for the implementers that are like doing a great effort that year or that quarter in their implementation, for me is something great to do, for example. Or I don't know, the spec development for me is a great example as well. So this is taking a lot of effort, and for me, probably instead of just providing a stipend for TST members, probably I will suggest like the people that is like making the heavy lifting of the spec evolution probably will take a good part of that. And I also I need to advocate a bit about the community management stuff, because I'm not being able to do it anymore. And I'm not saying that I know that I initially share directly the only catch expectations that are not we can't afford that. But yeah, I will probably suggest like we give the community manager a bit more, because we can ask for a lot of more, like making a lot of awareness about what we are doing. I mean, the community management stuff, we can get a lot of benefit from it. Like, publishing all the implementations. We can decide what is the focus of this person, but definitely the community need someone that is like keeping it alive. And as of now, we are still moving, but we need a person doing that again. So yeah, but it's great. I mean, this is a great example of it's a great example of a starting point. But I suggest we put more in spec, more in implementers, and community management, maybe just simplifying a bit the structure. And if we scale the funding, that probably if we put all of that in place and we communicate it, my hypothesis is that we are going to get more funds probably, because we can, in the plan, we can communicate, hey, as soon as we get more funds, we are going to expand here and here and here, something like that. Like, hey, if we get more funds, we are going to increase the stipends for implementers, instead of just once a year, maybe once a quarter. Or if we expand this area, we are going to invest in, for example, this discussion about the JSON structure. Imagine that we say, hey, this is a very important problem for the community. If we expand the budget until here, we are planning to fund this work for someone in the community or for a working group or something like that. I don't know. So just putting there the ideas.
I like also, I mean, what you said in there, which is, coming back to the potential donor perspective, reading that blog post, I think we can be very strategic to essentially what Ben has said. You know, this is what we're funding, but also very importantly saying this is what we're not funding, right? And like making it hurt. And I think where we draw that line, even if we potentially could make things happen so that we fund those things a bit, showing what we do not fund, I think it can send a very strong message as well.
Yeah, great point. And I think we can go into the next proposal, which is just kind of taking a different approach to this, where instead of just dividing things, you know, what we in a way we think is logical, do something that's more need-based. So this is basically like, you know, maybe every quarter or something, we would distribute grants based on, you know, people who apply, and say like, you know, I'm doing the community management for, you know, this quarter, and this is you know, the amount that I need to do that job, and then, you know, the committee or whatever can decide on how to distribute funds. So that way, I think, is going to probably be more work for us, because we'd have to you know, review and make these decisions every quarter, or however often, maybe every half a year or something. But it might end up getting more of the funds to the places where they're needed most. And this
Yeah.
could be anything. It could be even like an implementation, like maintainers who say like, you know, I need a little more support to continue maintaining this important implementation or something.
I like that. And I think probably it can be something that we can include in any single proposal, like leaving like a percentage for supporting the community. So, and that includes implementers or maintainers, or, I mean, we can expand saying, hey, we have every month or every quarter, we are leaving 30% or 20% for stipends for the ecosystem. And it includes, we can put the eligibility criteria, creating a single way for people to apply, and make it super transparent, saying, hey, this month the JSON Schema project is contributing to whoever, whatever. I mean, yeah, and we can, as soon as we see how diverse is the people applying, we can start putting more like a structure, saying, hey, okay, we are spending in implementers these like 2 quarters, but now we are getting a proposal, I don't know, for a new, I mean, let's see what people is applying for that. And later we can start putting like more criteria, saying, hey, we are going to make sure that we are providing this in a more diverse way to support implementers, but also whatever is the people applying that they're community managers, or, I mean, let's see. But yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah,
I think. Oh, you go ahead, Greg.
I like the idea of being able to have some flexible funds. Thinking maybe a kind of a mix of the 2 proposals, where we have certain, you know, some amount of budget that definitely goes to set places, but then also have an amount of the budget that is reserved for people who, you know, apply for those things. I think a quarterly basis is probably a good cadence there. What I would like to see in the first proposal, or at least that part of the blend, is more support for existing implementations. I think we can bring additional people on and support their implementations. We will need some sort of metric to identify those implementations which gets supported first. We can't support every implementation and tool that we have in our list unless we're, you know, sending $3 to each one of them. So, but yeah, I like the idea of actually implementing both of these and apportioning the budget appropriately in order to do so.
Yeah, so I think I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to suggest something similar as well. But I think the challenge with this is that we don't really have enough money, I think, to you know, to do both and have, you know, a reasonable amount of money to use for each of them. I think we like maybe we can make it work if we, but we gotta, look at the numbers a little more carefully.
Right, but with Juan's approach of using the fact that money is flowing through the organization rather than building up in the organization to suggest to current sponsors and to new sponsors that we are going through the money and we do need continued and increased funds. I think more people will come on board. He's made that point before, and I tend to agree with it. Benha?
Yeah, I think if we make it quarterly, probably it can be a good amount. Monthly probably is not going to be like a solid contribution, but maybe quarterly we can like make a reasonable good amount for the special support, whatever is the category we set for people that is applying to it, and also for implementers. We need to decide what is the criteria and all of that, so we can work on it. And I'm still thinking about how we can do the community management thing, but yeah, I think I can just following the same format that you put it in your proposal, Jason. I can work in something else, including all the ideas, and see how that looks like, and we can start iterating from there. Juan.
So from the messaging point of view, right? I think so the implementers idea, I think it's cool, but I think it's also one that might resonate, a bit less with people, because a lot of the people that are donating, they might be like, well, if I want to donate this implementation if I'm using it, right? Otherwise, why am I donating to like 20 of them that with 19 of them maybe I don't even care about? And if you put that in contrast, I think there are some things like, for example, spec development and community management stuff, that if we build a strong storyline around those, I think as an initial step, those are the ones that people like, they will get it, right? I think it's the kind of thing that they were like, okay, this makes sense. This is like the stuff that we should be funding. I presume that people, and maybe I'm wrong, right? I have no idea, but I presume that if we go and say, hey, we are putting most of our funds on the spec development and community management to keep the community alive, yeah, I think people will understand that a lot more than the other ones, maybe.
Well, I think supporting implementations is not just, like, do I use that implementation or not? Like, for example, Greg and my implementations are often referenced in discussions with people trying to figure out how things are supposed to work. And I think so, like, those are reference implementations. I think that's important to the community as a whole, whether you use those implementations or not.
Well, yeah, but I think that's what I draw the line, right? And but maybe I think there is a way to I think you're phrasing it in a nicer way. But I think, yes, I think we understand that, and other implementers, for example, understand that. But I think the potential donor or like big company trying to look at this, they might not get it instinctively in the same way, right? But maybe they do actually. I mean, because I like how you said the reference implementation, right? If we manage to select which are actually the reference implementations, which it's kind of out there, given Bautai or something like that, but we haven't clearly defined that. But maybe phrasing it as supporting the reference implementations that carries a lot more weight, right? Because again, I agree 100% to what you're saying. I think the reasoning it's perfect, but I'm just questioning how much just like a big company with a budget and open source program might actually get it.
Yeah, I think defining reference implementations is going to have a lot of value for this and other potential discussions. And again, sorry for insisting in the community management stuff, but if we have someone making a good work on that, that is going potentially to increase our funding. because that person is going to be echoing any contribution, is going to highlight the work done by the spec authors, and is going to share and call to action for more sponsors to help with this and that. So community manager is part of our go-to-market, whatever is the approach to increase our funding. So yeah, it's an investment, and we can try it. I mean, if the good thing about spending in the community management or any other services is there is no contract. We are just going to pay someone, see if that works, and if it's not working, we can just say, hey, is this? I mean, we were expecting some results, and yeah, we don't need to continue with that. But if we try and we see that is getting us benefits, like increasing the sponsorship, or getting the increased engagement, or attract or engage the implementers to join certain discussions. So yeah, we need to invest on that. Just for your information, I think API community is spending 2,000 monthly in the community manager. So, but they are getting much more funds than us, but yeah, they are spending on it.
Yeah, I think it'd be great if we get to that point where we have that much money to spend on something like that.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree that that role is an investment, and I think, Ben, how you proved that in the last several years that you've been in that role. We can see that by how much more money we've brought in, to the point that we can actually have this discussion now. So I think the like if we're gonna have some extra funding that we want to spend quarterly or whatever, I think the thing that we have to decide is what are the fixed things that we want to make sure that we spend on, and I see one recommends funding the spec and community manager. So that sounds reasonable to me. If we just focus on those two things, and then if everybody agrees with that, the next question is, how much do we invest in those things, and how much do we leave left over?
And we can also think about the reference implementation stuff as well. Maybe we need to define it, but we can make it like put the list and say we are going to fund or partially all those reference implementations. So fix one amount and divide it and give a portion for each single implementation, or just make it like each month for each implementer. I don't know, but I think we can just decide what is the percentage that we are going to put in each category: spec, community management, reference implementations, and have the discussion about what is out of the budget. And when we make the communication saying, hey, we are looking for sponsors because we would like to increase our funding to reference implementations, we would like to fund this and that project, and we would like to increase the go from a part-time community manager to a full-time community manager, things like that. So we can like have a lot of like a strong messaging that we didn't have before. We get this increase in funds just because we make it easier to understand what we are doing and what are the benefits of being a sponsor. But now we are going to make this communication with a strong message about why we need more money. So my hypothesis is that we will get an increase in funding. If that happens, we can just start create this budget with the expectations of the increase, so we don't need to have the discussion again. So if we we can have this spreadsheet saying, hey, if we go to 2K monthly, we are going to increase this and that, and if we go to 3K monthly, the expectation is we start funding, increase the percentage or something. I mean, we can have the spreadsheet with all the data.
Well, the only thing I'm concerned is that I think it will look a lot better if we more properly fund a few things than fund more things just a bit. right? I think at some point with the money we have, if we even try to start funding the reference implementations, it might be so little, right? Like leaving aside already the spec development and the community manager, it might be so little that it's I think it might do more harm, than good. In a way, it's like we're stretching it too far, and I think people are going to read that. It's like, why are you funding it? I mean, just maybe accept that you just cannot fund it if it's like too little. Whereas I think just properly funding a few maybe, and just expressing the interest, like, okay, we want to fund this, but we need to properly fund it, right? We can't just give nothing or pennies to everybody. I think that might maybe I don't know, maybe helps with the storytelling.
Yeah, it occurred to me that I wonder if funding the spec work is kind of covers in a way some of the reference implementation, because Greg and I are implementing things as we're working on spec stuff and new ideas, and so maybe if we're funding the spec, we're also funding the reference implementations in a way, at least the most important ones, and then we can expand later on as our budget grows.
I'm fine with that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Another thing that has occurred to me is that we're a good way through 2025, and we're talking about how much we're going to spend for for this year. Should we be thinking about whatever we decide on, should we have that apply retroactively to the beginning of the year, or should we just start where we are and go from there?
Yeah, start where we are. I think we can keep it lean. Just get it going. But I think it's very important that as soon as we do this, we have to do a proper write-up, right? And send the messaging. And again, the whole point is that we use this as an artifact to go try to hunt for more donors, right? And so we're gonna link them to and do our entire pitch around that.
Makes sense. In which case, maybe we can even start with a slightly higher budget as well, because we're using more, or we went almost half a year without spending as much as we could have.
In that case, I can make a proposal of just give it a try with the community management staff. We can decide what is the amount. So we decide 2 months and what we can afford, and see if that is working for us. If it's not working, we can just reduce the amount, or just make it like volunteering, contributing work like other. But if we have this a bit extra, we can say, okay, let's give it a try 2 months, 3 months, with a focus on the areas that we like the community manager to focus, and one of those increase sponsors. And if that works, maybe we can just extend the collaboration a bit more. Yeah, maybe that's a good incentive for the person that is going to have the role.
Yep.
Jason, if you can take probably your proposal 1, and then add some, like, make the modifications we've discussed here, just having the TSC, the spec, and a community manager on there as the kind of the recurring costs, and then also have just a budget for not discretionary, but just like application costs. People have costs that they would like to have covered by the organization. So have a line item in for that, and then just either on this issue or on another issue, list out what that budget explicitly is, then we can put a vote on it. And I think we can just move forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. You mentioned the TSC members. So far, we haven't identified that as an important thing. Do we want to include that, like a TSC member sponsorship generally, or do we want to spend more on other things?
I vote no. I vote that we spend more on the spec and the community manager.
Yeah,
But
I think
that's my opinion.
in my opinion is the same. I think we can focus on those areas now, and if we are lucky to increase the funds, we can expand the categories. And if we create this category of requesting support, I mean, that is something that anyone in the JSON Schema community can apply for. So yeah. So for me, not for now.
Yeah.
But we can, for example, or we can think about TST members that are not employed or something like that. We can, or that are like is not having are consultants but not having an engagement this quarter or something or this month. In that case, I think yes, we should do it. But we need to find a way to communicate it and make it like something solid to tell, like support TST members that are not employed. Something, yeah. I don't know if other projects are doing something like that, but
Yeah,
probably yes.
Maybe that falls into the grants section. So, people in that situation can write a grant for the quarter or whatever. Yeah.
Grants is a good.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So I'll adjust my proposed budget because based on some of the talk that we had, I think we can spend a little bit more, and also suggest some numbers for funding the spec and funding community manager, and how much we're going to leave over for grants, and then maybe we can go from there.
Sounds great to me.
I would say, I mean, don't maybe try to not leave over that much. I think, because if we can say, hey, we're funding these two things, these all of the things we want to fund, but we want to increase it, I think it will make it look tight. I think it might actually make it nicer.
I didn't follow that. Can you say again?
Yeah. So what I mean is that I think try to maybe not leave too much for other things, right? Don't separate some money on the pot for a lot, right? Because I think we can use as an excuse that we are tight and therefore we need more money, right?
Yeah, like we can say, like we set this little amount aside for grants, but we'd love to do more, but we can't.
Yeah, like make it look like we're on the limit, right? I think that's a nice thing.
Yeah, okay. I commit to work in the communication, probably with everyone's support and feedback, to make it look nicer and see if that give us the push about engagement, financial support, and so on. So yeah, I'll provide my notes for JSON spreadsheet and start thinking about what is the best communication for all of us to iterate it and push it forward. And we aligned and vote for the budget. Okay. Thanks everyone, and thanks Jason for working the numbers and the proposals. And yeah, I think we have great ideas for formalize the budget. And yeah, for me, I'm very curious about how the implementers community is going to perceive this, because for long we discussed about how to better support implementers, and this is the very first step financially. So yeah, let's see how that works.
One thing, by the way, Benka, if you're the owner of the LinkedIn account, I think something just to start, doing some propaganda, I think it would be fun to post something on JSON Schema. Like maybe if you can screen share like the budget thing, you can take a screenshot here and we say, hey, in this call we've been discussing, the budgeting for the year and whatever. I think that could also already start making some momentum on social media, and then until we announce it on the blog post and we can say, hey, like a month ago we did this. And
Yeah, I'm going to do this one, but this is why we need a community manager, that not the one that is going out, but the one that we need to bring in. But yeah,
okay, can you screen share, Benja, the screen maybe really quickly, the agenda where you had the breakdown or something like that? I want to take a screenshot. I can do a LinkedIn post myself as well. But I think it's fun to showcase that we're discussing all these things in public, and then in a few weeks we drop a blog post or something.
Yeah, I was surprised to see my first meeting to be about this
There you go.
budget.
That one.
Yeah.
This one?
Well,
here?
Yeah. We can take a picture. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Okay, yeah, I'll try to do a post maybe later today or tomorrow. But I think, that's another thing that we can do more. I think the more that we talk about money very publicly, I think it will help. But I think it's just about making a lot of noise, probably. So we should try to get, to use as many excuses as we can.
Great. And the last thing that I'd like to remind or bring back before leaving for today, we discussed about this reference implementations topic. Is that going to be a category in the budget finally or not? So I'm not sure if we committed to that one. Maybe not, we said just the spec. So I'm not sure what we decide.
I think we should say that we want to, but
Okay.
but we need more budget for that, I think.
That makes sense. And we kind of are supporting it, reference implementations by supporting the spec, because those are the people, the same group of people right now.
I mean, we should mark them, by the way. Maybe an aside, but in Bautai, I would love to have them say, separately with an icon, whatever. This is a reference, consider a reference implementation, whatever that means. Maybe it gets us into the rabbit hole of defining really what a reference implementation is. But it would be very fun to have them like in blue or something on Bautai.
I'm in the tooling page. Maybe I don't know if both are the tooling page on both, but for that we need a definition of reference implementation. Maybe something that someone can work on. So if there is a volunteer in the room, and we can just let me create an issue just to open the discussion to see if we can find a way to put a definition there. Maybe there's a definition that we can bring from any other project. I don't know if the concept is new or already exists. The concept of reference implementation in other specs.
Maybe it's just implementations by the TSC, right? Because you would presume that people in the TSC would know what they're talking about, and if not, the other members would shout at them. I think maybe that's good enough.
Yeah, but it seems not something that other implementers, maybe not in the part of the TSC, can't aspire to be.
Yeah, but I think if you're writing an implementation that we think is on that level, then we're probably going to invite you to the TSC anyway, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, because I think reference, it carries authority. That's what it means, right? It's an authoritative implementation for you to get inspiration from. So makes sense.
So what if we just use Bowtie as and I'll put this in whatever issue is created, but I think the metric should be, passes Bowtie at a specific, specific percentage. Because that really proves that your implementation is on that level. And then also if you are maintaining that month to month, then that can, that shows that you're continuing to work on it, and because Bowtie will evolve, the test suite will evolve, etc. So using bow tie as that metric, I think, is a good approach.
I like that.
Yeah. I'll create the issue to formalize the discussion there and engage with the bow tie family to see what they think about it. Great.
We need to fund.
Yeah. And before dropping, Bala, you put it a comment in the chat. I'm sharing my screen with the issue that you just put it there. This part of the test suite. I don't know if you like to put some context regarding what you like to discuss on this issue.
Yeah, this list all the consumers of JSON spec and list all the implementations and other ways of consuming. So place seems to be one of the implementers who tests, who uses this test suite. So yeah, I think it deserves a place here.
Well, as the author of Blaze, I selfishly like this.
Looks good to me. Let's merge it.
Okay. And this is automatically updated? No, right?
Yeah, this is by no means a complete list.
Markdown, right?
I don't think my implementation's on there unless somebody
We
else.
should try to put all of these ones in. I mean, because in theory, bow tie should be this list, right? But I think we're missing a lot. And maybe the takeaway of this also is that we should try to retro add as many of these into bow tie, so then we kill the list at some point.
Yeah, I really question the value of having this list when we have a tools list on the website and we have bow tie as well.
Yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
but I was going through JSON Schema test suite repo and I found this. So I just wanted it to be updated. So if we
Sure.
decide on the source of truth as bow tie, sure.
Yeah, we can. I see no harm in adding it, and we can decide the future of future value of this list later.
Sure.
I'm taking some notes. Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, I just took a note for adding an issue in the test suite repo to discuss this list and see what we are going to do with it. I took note to create an issue in the community repo to discuss the reference implementations and our preference for using bow tie as the criteria. And we will continue working, iterating with the new proposal of JSON with what we agreed. And I will start working in the communication, and I will share it with the TST and the community as soon as I have a draft, so we can just think about putting it outside. Next step is probably when we have this budget and we vote for it, and if there is an opportunity for the community management staff, we will follow up with the next steps and discussions with the person to see if that's something that person is still interested on or not. So yeah, let's continue discussing that. And yeah, we are done for today. Any other comment before leaving the session? Great. So yeah, thanks everyone. And yeah, excited about next steps with this. So thank you and have a good rest of the day.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Happy birthday.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.